Hey everybody, this is Ron from Swiftic with today's Forex Rant. Ranting, raving about the Forex market. So what we're watching this week, two big stories are A, the Eurodollar and this upcoming economic summit that's coming up on Friday, and the dollar. We're looking at the dollar, this post FOMC dollar rally we've had. Since last Wednesday, we've seen a lot of gains in the dollar, and the question is whether those dollar gains are going to continue or not. Before we talk about the fundamentals, one quick technical trade over here. We mentioned last week that the Eurodollar had been in this uptrend from early June. However, following the big sell-off on the post-Greek election sell-off, we've gone below this uptrend, which after falling below this upturn really puts a lot of pressure back on the Eurodollar, and therefore looking on a technical side for this week, we should keep our eyes on this 125.15 level, last week's lows. If we drop below that level, we could have a retest. We could see the selling pressure accelerate and a possible retest of the 2012 lows. So that's on the technical side. On the fundamental side, everybody's been watching this EU summit coming out on Thursday. The big question is well, whether this summit is really going to matter. The two big things that people are going to be talking about are bailouts and austerity measures. And while austerity is a nice thing for bondholders, it really doesn't do, it really doesn't deal with the big problem in the EU, which is a lack of growth. And for Forex traders who are trading the euro, we're going to want to see some growth going forward, and how the EU is going to produce that in order to really create a lot of demand for this euro. If the EU can't solve this growth problem, then very likely we'll see this continued trade lower in the euro, or at least not much of a big rally in it. So the big question is, where is this growth going to come from? So let's take a quick look at Spain. So in the 1990s to the mid-2000s, so Spain was a big economic drive, had a lot of, it was going through a huge economic boom, specifically in the construction / real estate and tourism market. However, what caused the construction market to do well was the real estate prices going higher and higher, and everybody knows the eventual, what eventually happened there is, as real estate became kind of like a Ponzi scheme, as real estate prices finally fell apart, we saw this entire sector falling apart, along with all the employment that was there. So they really had like an unsustainable sector that was really keeping up most of Spain. The big question though are, where are the startups? Even if, let's say you go to Spain now and you want to take advantage of this weak euro, can you just go ahead and start up a company and and create jobs there? And the answer is no, because there's just a lot of bureaucracy, and there's a lot of things kind of keeping people from really putting their money into Spain to really kick-starting it. So for me specifically, what I want to see from this EU summit is not about where the bailout money is going, et cetera, et cetera. I want to know, what is Spain and the rest of the EU, other than Germany, who's doing a pretty good job of doing well with exports. I don't know what the rest of the EU is doing in order to stimulate new businesses and new growth that could possibly be created from the rest of the EU. Next I want to talk about is the FOMC. So the FOMC being pretty much of a surprise, at least for us last week. They went with what was called Operation Twist, which is this idea to buy the long-dated bonds and sell the short dated bonds. And they did this instead of going for a whole QE3 model. The dollar immediately rallied on this. We were actually pretty surprised on this, because we thought that the Fed would go along with the QE3, especially being that they remain cautious with their outlook. Which brings us to the dollar yen. I want to show you this. Dollar yen had a huge rally earlier in the year as the U.S. had some really good non-farm payrolls. It went from the 76 level up to the 84 level. So now that we see this, the dollar the FOMC, the Fed not going with another round of QE3, are we going to see another level of this happening again in the dollar yen? So keep your eyes on the dollar yen. Specifically, if the U.S. numbers are better than expected, we could see another one of these huge moves higher in the dollar yen. Thanks for watching. My name is Ron from Swiftic. Have a wonderful day.